Let's just get right into it. We're gonna recap part 2 of the tell-all and only Big Ed and Liz's parts because their relationship is the one that I'm invested in the most out of all the couples, and I don't know why. It may have something to do with how repulsive Ed is, or how angry he makes me, or how frustrated I get with Liz. You know how there are some things in life that you just love to hate. For example, there are some celebrities or influencers that people just hate follow or hate watch. And yeah, well, for me, that's Ed. So we see Ed and Liz talking, and Ed seems to have forgotten why they broke up. So Liz reminds him that he left her and went to Vegas to hook up with some sugar babies.
I'm trying to figure out why we broke up. Can you tell me?
The drinking.
And I hate, with the burning passion, how Ed does that stupid nod, like,
oh yeah, I totally forgot, yeah,
I'm so sick of Ed constantly being the victim. He also constantly turns the blame around on Liz and fails to take any responsibility for his actions.
What killed me was that it was like final, like it was really over.
You made it final.
But you accepted it.
No, I didn't. You dropped my off and then blocked me and left to Vegas.
Yeah, I did.
Look, there's that stupid nod again. Like,
yeah, I did that.
There's just always doubt in my head that you're still gonna throw me away. So.
Sean replays a scene where Ed asks Liz to move in. Liz is like, wow, another fast move, but okay. And Ed goes, Liz thinks I'm moving too fast, but I don't.
And I want to ask you to move in.
That's another fast move. But yes.
For her, I'm moving too fast, but I don't feel like I'm moving too fast at all.
Ladies, let's not forget that the only thing that matters is what Ed thinks and what Ed wants. Liz talks about why their relationship didn't work, and Ed starts to cry, and he admits that he doesn't listen.
That I don't listen.
No shit, Sherlock. God, I'm really sick of Ed's tears because I don't believe they're real. I do think that he's a super emotional guy, but those tears are more for gaining sympathy from the audience. Like I've said before, he loves playing the victim. And at first, I actually thought, oh, maybe he believes that he's constantly being screwed over. But then as soon as someone points out, like for example, when Liz points out that he was in fact the instigator, or he's the one that broke up, he's the one that did this, he immediately reacts by nodding and acknowledging that they're right. Ed continues to talk about therapy, and he only mentions it about 100 times.
Things I'm working on in therapy, which is awesome. It's so awesome.
Does anyone else feel like he's using his therapy as a way to convince everyone that he's becoming a better person, and also using it to excuse his bad behavior? Sean asks Liz if she would give Ed another chance.
Is there a future for you two?
And I'm sitting over here watching this thinking, yes, go Liz, tell him off and humiliate him on national TV, please, please. But no.
I've missed Ed a lot this last month. I still love him.
Girl, why? What the?
I told him, like, if we were to give it a fair chance, it has to be a fair chance.
Whatever the hell that means. I don't know what a fair chance means.
I would want to go to therapy together.
At this point, I am super frustrated. And I know as she says this, everyone else along with myself is pretty much bashing their head against an imaginary wall.
And cutting out our drinking.
I don't think cutting out the drinking is going to prevent his eyes from wandering, okay? That's just a part of who Big Ed is. He loves the 20-year-old ladies, and the younger the better. Now, Sean asks Ed, are you gonna try to work this out with Liz? And oh my God, he hesitates.
I kind of went into this because I knew not everything about Liz's life, but I knew enough that that I just saw all these challenges.
Challenges? What challenges?
And I would even make a list. My daughter made me a list. What do you like about Liz? And, you know, and what what frustrates you. And
He just said that one of his frustrations about Liz was that she was in her 20s, when he only seeks out women in their 20s. Ed says that he made a pros and cons list about Liz, things that he likes versus things that he doesn't like. And according to him, he was able to list 3 whole things that he liked about her. And then he listed about 20 things that he did not like about her. Wow, that's just wonderful.
So, Liz, would you get back together with Ed?
I do have hope we can make it work.
Oh my God, Liz. Why do you even want to try again when you know how he is? Oh, and by the way, I'm so sorry that you guys have to hear me constantly whine and complain in this video.
Why try it again? I mean, unless you really want to commit to Liz and knock off the bullshit, then why? Why drag her through all this crap?
Yes, Colty, yes. Oh my God, why is this show making me agree with Colt? This feels wrong. Fernanda decides to be a girl's girl and exposes Ed for the creep that he is by telling Liz that Ed actually wanted to holler at her roommate.
Behind the scenes, and he told me to say hi to my roommate and that she's really pretty.
And that doesn't seem to faze Liz for some reason.
yeah, that's
Wow.
true. That happened.
And my roommate, by the way, she's 26.
Did you guys see the face that Ed was making when Fernanda mentioned her roommate's age?
Liz, what is your reaction to that?
I know that he loves me.
Oh, girl, come on. Like, at this point, like, what can you do? You can only lead a horse to water, but they have to drink it, right? And everyone led Liz to the water, and she just won't drink that water.
I am willing, if you're willing to. I don't want to make a decision based off of other people's opinions. I want to make a decision based off of what we're doing together.
Either Liz is super broken and desperate and she has Stockholm syndrome, or she wants to come back for next season. And hey, I get it, because when else is she gonna get a paycheck like this? I can kind of respect the hustle, but you guys, sometimes I watch her and I think she might actually love him, which I just cannot understand or respect. Sorry, not sorry. She reminds me of this friend I had a few years ago who constantly went back to her ex-boyfriend, and he would like always lie to her and manipulate her and take these random weird trips with older women and say that it was for, quote, work. Yeah. Anyway, she would take him back over and over and over again. And eventually it just made me lose all the respect I had for her. And Liz just kind of reminds me of that friend.
I just still haven't gotten an answer from Ed. Ed, yes or no? You want to give it another shot or no?
I don't even think he really wants it anymore. He just likes the attention. I swear he was way more into her when he wasn't sure how she felt about him or if he could get her in a relationship. But now that he knows she loves him, he does not even want her. Like, look at him. He could not care less.
The only thing that gives me pause,
The only thing that gives you pause should be you. It's you. You're the problem.
is the fact that
Yes
we're
and
not going
no.
to be able to figure out our shit in 3 sessions.
Basically, the rest of the segment is pitiful because Liz is practically begging Ed to give her another chance. Like, she's really begging.
How about yes or no?
I think it's enough to see if we can try to communicate. I want to see if we are on a right path to communicate. And I feel like we can get that. Or who knows, maybe within the next couple of days, our communication will be better. I don't know. Like, I don't know what happened to Liz. Like, girl, are you thinking straight? She begs and begs, and he basically says yes. So yay, Liz, you secured a spot on next season. Woohoo! I want to know how many people out there really believe that Liz is truly in love with Ed, or if she's doing this just for show. Also, if anyone out there wants me to recap the entire tell-all, including the other couples, just let me know in the comments and I can do that. And I'm so sorry I was complaining throughout this whole entire video. I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from, my frustrations, my anger, and I love you.